While it's true that Cardano's taken a much different approach towards development compared to its peers, it's finally beginning to pay off. With over 5 different Layer 2 scaling solutions currently under development and brand new DeFi and DEX platforms allowing or supporting for high frequency trading to take place, we're really beginning to see Cardano mature. We've also got the launch of V2 versions of protocols, for example, like Indigo, MintSwap, and LendFi. As a part of today's video, I want to dive into the latest updates in the Cardano ecosystem. What's up, Beta Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host here, Fareed. As always, we're going to be diving into the latest Cardano ecosystem updates. But first things first, I want to quickly take a moment to highlight Consensus 2024, which will be taking place in Austin, Texas, for a span of just about 3 days. Now, we're expecting to hear from some of the biggest blockchain contributors. And then there's also going to be Cardano ecosystem projects that I do plan on meeting there as well. So I want to quickly give you guys an update surrounding that and what my plans are in order to take advantage of that particular event. Next, we're going to talk about the Cardano Weekly Development Report. Now, there's been a lot of talk about governance, so we are going to talk a little bit more about that. There's some upcoming workshops, and if you're within the community and you have an interest in governance, there's an opportunity for you to actually host a workshop here coming up very soon. So I want to go ahead and release some of those details there as well. Now, following that, I want to go ahead and touch on 3 brand new protocols that have announced that they're going to be launching and building in the Cardano ecosystem. First and foremost, it's going to be Sky Protocol. They're going to be a data availability layer, which is going to be built on Cardano using our tech. Now, in addition, they're going to be providing value to other builders who could potentially leverage that data within and outside of the ecosystem. Now, I do plan on having this particular team on the channel here for a fully dedicated interview, so you guys can actually hear about what they're building and what their intentions are directly from the team themselves. Next, we've got Delta DeFi. Now, this is coming from Hinson, who I've had here on the channel. He's already developed and worked on the Cardano naming service. So a feature or platform very similar to ADA handles. If you're not familiar with that, it simplifies sending and receiving in terms of address management. Now, with Delta DeFi, it's going to be a high frequency trading DEX, right? So I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that. But of course, we don't have all the details yet here either. And I do plan on bringing him on for an interview here on the channel as well. Last but not least, in terms of brand new protocols, we have the official launch of the Splash DEX. And there, again, within the trading and swapping space. Now, this particular platform is officially live, and I do want to quickly take a look at their upcoming roadmap and some of their targets for the remainder of the year. Now, last but not least, dealing with DEXs already, since we're talking about Delta DeFi and Splash, I do want to raise the fact that SundaeSwap v3 has officially gone live, and I want to quickly highlight some of their latest features and upgrades in terms of speed, scalability, and throughput. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, my goal is to help you find digital liberty here within this blockchain and crypto space, of course, focusing here on Cardano. That said, if you do enjoy content and updates like these, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by and you want more, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions, then make sure to leave a comment down below. I am also a single stake pool operator, so if you want to take your support a step further, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. Right now, you'll be earning your traditional ADA rewards, in addition to the Matera token, as well as the Sarah token. Rolling into the first set of updates, we're talking about the Consensus event taking place in Austin, Texas. Again, if you haven't already registered, you can. It'll be kicking off on May 29th, running all the way through the 31st. In terms of projects and protocols we can expect to be in attendance, we'll have representatives from Bitcoin, Chainlink, Cosmos, Ethereum, Near, Polygon, Solana, and of course, Cardano, just to name a few. Now, what really sort of got my attention here when looking at some of the speakers here is that we're going to have one of the candidates who's going to be running for the presidential office in attendance, speaking out about crypto and his support for blockchain technology. Now, this is Robert F. Kennedy. If you guys have been keeping up with Charles's latest videos, he's been a little bit more vocal about politics and his current stances, and he's actually endorsed RFK. So I'm not sure if Charles will be in attendance, but if so, I think this could make for an interesting conversation if he does end up potentially sharing the stage with RFK. There's obviously also Kathy Wood, who's been a huge proponent of Solana, but she comes from the TradFi space and she's actually going to be in attendance there as well. So I'm looking forward to catching some of these bigger speeches, but I'm also looking forward to hanging out with some of the members from the Cardano community. So if you guys want to find out more about this, you can head over to the official website, which is available at consensus2024.coindesk.com. Now, I want to take a moment here just to shout out anybody who might also be attending on their own. If you are going to be out there, I'll be out there for all 3 days. And it's going to be basically work and a little bit of play for me, right? So if you want to catch up, hang out after hours, I'm more than happy to do so. I'm going to be attending a couple of after parties, and I'm looking forward to meeting more Cardano community members. In terms of projects that I personally know that will already be in attendance, I know that the Cornucopias team is already out there. We've got Rob Gregg, Josh Jones, we've got Josh Noriega from Lake Game Crypto, and a few of the other usuals from that team that'll be in attendance there. There's also Josh Stone, I believe, who's going to be representing the Book.io team. And then there's going to be Noah and Simon coming in from Cerberus, as well as I think it's Ryan representing the World Mobile team. So, of course, they're going to get dibs in terms of interviews. If there's any questions or concerns that you guys want me to sort of raise to these teams while I'm in there in person, I'm more than happy to do so. Of course, again, I'll have interviews lined up and hopefully pushed out here as quickly as possible surrounding that. So I did want to take a moment to highlight Consensus. It's a pretty big event. And if you aren't making it this year, you should definitely try to make it out next year if at all possible. All right, let's jump into everything Cardano. As it stands in terms of the weekly development report, we have for the week of May 24th, the completion of conformance tests for the certification in the ratify rules. There's also been guardrail scripts which have been applied for Conway governance actions, which are now complete. And then there's also a new Mithril Explorer page, which is currently in development. Now, towards the bottom there, we've got the DREP Pioneer program details, which have officially been released, which I'm going to dive into a little bit further here in just a moment, followed by funding round number 12 for Catalyst beginning the finalization stage. Now, last but not least, there is planning for the next Cardano developer course, which has already begun. Now, let's talk a little bit more about that DREP Pioneer program. About a month or two ago, there was an announcement coming out from the Intersect MBO, basically asking for anybody who wants to apply to teach the DREP Pioneer program that they had the ability to do so and that they could receive anywhere between 20,000 ADA all the way through 25,000 ADA. Now, of course, that timeline has passed and they've now officially released the lesson plan that the pioneers who've already been chosen, I believe it's going to be 15 of them, that they're going to be teaching to the broader community. Now, I also want to quickly take a moment to plug in my personal content here, which I've gone ahead and released, breaking down everything that you might need to know as a beginner, right, or as an introductory lesson when it comes to Cardano-based governance. So that talks about the timelines for when we can expect governance, especially the chain hard fork and SIP number 1694 to come online. But then I also break down some of the different governing actions. I believe there's a total of 7 of them, as well as highlighting the different shareholders or participants, which include the Constitutional Committee, the DREPs, the stake pool operators, and then your everyday or your traditional ADA holder. So make sure to go ahead and check those out. But in preparation of that, for anybody who's going to be a DREP, basically anybody who wants to represent other Cardano community members, they'll need to go ahead and actually participate, or they should, or at least it's recommended that they participate in the DREP Pioneer program. Now, for the sake of time in this particular video, I'm not going to go too much deeper into depth here, but I will be releasing more and more content focusing and targeting specifically governance. So it's cool to see here that we have a full day's plan here, breaking everything down, highlighting the DREP training program overview, discussing key terms, talking and breaking down Cardano's on-chain governance design. And then there's a deep dive directly into the DREP role, understanding how delegation works, navigating the code of conduct, reflecting on the DREP compensation, because again, keep in mind that this will be work, right? So I personally believe that they should get paid, and that's going to be a portion of the conversation surrounding the actual Pioneer program. Following that, they're going to discuss how to become a DREP. And then last but not least, they're going to talk about engaging with the community, as well as conclusions and potential further steps. So I want to quickly touch on that there. Again, governance is right around the corner. We're expecting the chain hard fork to kick off, I believe, anywhere between Q2 to Q3. And then we're going to have the Constitutional Committee drafting the draft constitution that we'll be voting for in Argentina at the end of the year, sometime in December. Moving over, In terms of governance, if you are interested, you can now begin to host, or you can at least apply to host, a Cardano Constitution workshop. So it states your applications are open to host a workshop to draft Cardano's initial constitution. The ambition, well, a total of 50 global workshops with thousands contributing and influencing Cardano's final constitution. Again, I mentioned that we're going to be voting to either accept or deny this constitution in the month of December. So that's coming pretty quickly. Really just looking now, we're just about to jump into June. So do keep that in mind. Now, I want to quickly highlight some of this here where it talks about the fact that in Q2, we're expecting the interim constitution to be available. Again, we've talked about the guardrails in terms of smart contracts that have been applied already on the Sancho net, which is basically the dev net for Cardano Constitution. And then anytime through July and October, we're expecting for the full constitution draft to become available. Now we're also going to be having the actual global workshops taking place. And then we're going to have delegates selected by workshop participants. Now, last but not least, towards the month of November and December, we're going to have the constitution draft being updated based on the latest community feedback. And then we're going to have the vote actually take place in Buenos Aires during the first week of December. Okay, moving over, if you want to go ahead and actually apply, it states here that Intersect members or the Intersect MBO members can apply to run funded workshops locally, taking the consultation process global. In addition to funding support, workshop hosts will receive training and materials to deliver a structured and effective workshop for attendees. Non-members who are not currently members of the MBO can still apply. Now, keep in mind, if you are not a member, you will not be able to receive funding. So this is a great opportunity and a great reason to make sure that you are a member of the Intersect MBO. Last but not least, applications are now open and they'll close on Thursday, June 13th, and initial confirmations are expected by early July. And workshops will likely begin in August and run through the month of October. So that's what I highlighted here. Anywhere between July, August, and October is where we're going to have the workshops occurring. And then we're going to have that final bit of feedback and then the actual vote or constitution taking place in Buenos Aires. If you want to actually go ahead and sign up for the Intersect MBO, you can head over to intersectmbo.org/join. It's extremely simple, takes less than 5 minutes. And if you're going to receive funding, it's definitely something that you want to go ahead and take advantage of. So you have your email address, full name, username here for Slack, and then you can highlight how you're joining, whether you're joining as an individual or as a particular project. You can highlight some of your tags or attributes that you're associated with, and then any website information that you may have. So as you guys can see, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I've actually signed up. I signed up a couple of months back when the actual MBO had actually started. Right now, it should be free, but keep in mind that that could change in the near future. As we get ready to close out the update here surrounding governance, I want to quickly review the governance roadmap. Again, we've got the draft constitution, which is going to be taking place hopefully soon. We have the interim constitutional committee. We've got the core governance tools, which should be launching anytime in the next couple of months. We've got the DREP Pioneer program, and then we've got the actual chain hard fork taking place in Q2 or Q3. That's going to bring the initial set of tooling for governance. We're going to have an additional upgrade following that, bringing the remaining of the updates. And then we have the annual meeting taking place in Japan in October, followed by the Constitutional Convention, again, taking place in Buenos Aires, Argentina. In terms of stats and how we're currently doing in the testnet or the Sancho net, we currently have over 2,100 unique users, 2,800 wallets, which have already been connected. We've got over 1,800 proposals that have been viewed. We've got 1,700 DREP registrations with 979 votes submitted and 955 delegations occurring. So it is still relatively small. I would expect, or I would hope to see numbers within the hundreds of thousands, especially as things come on the mainnet. It's going to be very similar to Project Catalyst, where a lot of people who hold ADA can actually finally get to have their voices heard. And I'm hoping that we get a much bigger turnout than we've seen with Project Catalyst, because again, that does require a little bit more work, especially if you're going through reading, hundreds of proposals and having to vote on that. Whereas with the Constitutional Convention or the Constitutional Committee in the initial constitution, it's going to be one certain thing that everybody is going to be voting on. So again, I'm going to do my best to put out as much content as I can, educate, but in preparation, make sure to join the Sancho Net and make sure to go ahead and just read up as much as you can. Again, keep an eye out from me more content related to governance. That will do it there for updates surrounding the weekly development report. A lot of that focusing and touching on governance. Next, I want to talk about 3 protocols that have come on my radar, which I think could provide some really solid use cases here for the Cardano ecosystem. Now, shout out to Rick McCracken here for this particular diagram, where he highlights the potential for Cardano and scaling in layer 2 solutions and sidechains as well. So right there in the very middle, we've got the Cardano layer 1, which we all know and love. But towards the very top there, we've got Midgard, a layer 2 being developed by Anastasia Labs. It's going to be fully open sourced. We've also got Leviathan being developed by the Optum Finance team. Again, a layer 2. We've got Gummy Worm coming in from the SundaeSwap team. We've also got Hydra being released by IOG or developed by Input Output Global. Now, to the right of that, we've got Milkamada, which is already live. It's a sidechain, I believe. We've got Mahan and Minth, which are stable coins. We've got Wanchain, which is bridgeable. We've got the Rosen bridge tying back over to the Ergo ecosystem, as well as the Maya protocol, which is a bridgeless swapping protocol. So imagine being able to swap your Bitcoin directly for ADA without having to go to a centralized exchange like Binance or Coinbase. Last but not least, there we've got Midnight, which will be one of the first ever blockchains released using the partner chain framework or the partner chain model developed by IOG. So this gives us an overview of Cardano and potential layer 2s, as well as sidechains and how they could come along and change the ecosystem. Now, what I want to highlight in regards to that is what is released and revealed as Sky Protocol. So it states here, hello Cardano community. We're excited to introduce Sky Protocol, a universal data availability layer 2 protocol powered directly by Cardano, the world's premier decentralized smart contract platform. Sky Protocol aims to propel the Cardano ecosystem to be faster, more scalable, private, and censorship resistant, all while being protected by a shared data availability network. Now, I'm still learning a little bit here in this corner of the ecosystem, specifically when it comes to data availability layers. So I want to quickly read a piece here from the KuCoin official information repo, breaking down what a DAL or data availability layer for short actually does. So it reads here, a data availability layer, or DAL for short, is a foundational component in blockchain and decentralized networks designed to ensure that data is reliably stored and readily available for users and applications. It acts as a decentralized storage solution that enhances data integrity, security, and accessibility, facilitating more efficient and scalable blockchain ecosystems. The DAL is crucial for maintaining the integrity of the blockchain. It ensures that data related to transactions is not only available when needed, but also resistant to censorship or tampering. Now, it also reads that by safeguarding data accessibility, the DAL plays a pivotal role in the trustless nature of blockchain, allowing participants to verify transactions independently without relying on a central authority. Now, with Cardano, we are already pretty decentralized. Please don't take that the wrong way. That was completely a slip of the tongue there. But we are decentralized, right? So right now, I have not seen any issues with tampering of data, but you can imagine that on other ecosystems, which have had either issues with trust or that have had issues going down, that there may be a need for something like this where you can always go back and get a historical view of transactions and just data that was processed on chain in order to make sure that if anything happened, that it was recorded properly and that it's always available in that same immutable state. Now, jumping back over to the official Sky Protocol website here, it's available at skyprotocol.org. They talk about the data availability, the cohesiveness of their network, being censorship resistant, the versatility that they'll provide, the continuum of validation, improved scalability, lower transaction costs, and benefits to security and privacy. As I mentioned there earlier, I will be sitting down with the official team to talk a little bit more about what they're building, how they're building it, and how it benefits the Cardano ecosystem, as well as all the dApps and builders here on the network. So if you have any questions about Sky Protocol, make sure to go ahead and leave it down below. But I want to take a minute to go ahead and bring that to you guys' attention for today's video. Next, we've got an update in the reveal of a platform called Delta DeFi. Now, we have one of the members from the Cardano naming service, which has joined Sheldon here for a brief snippet. So I want to quickly go ahead and play this, but I do also plan on getting Hinson here on the channel to talk a little bit more about Delta DeFi. So without any further ado, it's only about a 1-minute video here, but I'll quickly play this and then we'll jump back into sort of what my thoughts and what my understanding of a platform like this actually is.
So basically, we are researching to enable high frequency trading. When you're going for a desk, you want to place order, cancel the order. Every action costs you money. But we're building an architecture that could waive this kind of fee from order execution.
That is very cool.
Second thing is about the kind of confirmation, order confirmation. It takes you a few seconds to confirm your transactions. This behavior is not tolerable with the con trader. They have to lock down the kind of the cost of profit right at the time they're hitting the APIs. So this is also something that we're looking at. So we're getting kind of very positive results in the recent testing.
What you're trying to solve here is an opportunity to maybe raise ADA up as a more useful trading asset, right?
Cardano particularly is very, very small.
Yeah.
And we have to try to ingest some fresh liquidity into the ecosystem. Everyone gains.
All right, so as you just heard there from the man himself, this will give the opportunity for quant traders to jump into the Cardano ecosystem, allowing them to quickly place orders as well as remove orders from the chain with relatively low or no fees. Now, when it comes to high frequency trading, that's basically short for an algorithmic trading mechanism, which allows for large volumes of tokens to be quickly bought and sold automatically. So that's what we're going to be expecting from Delta DeFi. Again, I'm going to be inviting Hinson on the channel here for an interview breaking down what his hopes and expectations are for a protocol like this. So it reads here in their latest post, leveraging the unique features of UTXO architecture, Delta DeFi solves the challenges in order management fees, trading slippage, and low finality. With Delta DeFi's innovation in on-chain logic and off-chain order handling, high-frequency traders can benefit from pure efficiency enhancement while maintaining full control of their funds. The next piece I want to jump into will be surrounding the Splash protocol. So Splash is another DEX, and I actually missed the launch of their token that was done back on the 16th of May, but I did try to do my best to highlight that. So if you did participate, let me know how that has gone. Now, that said, this is an offshoot from the Spectrum Finance team. And so their DEX is already live, if I'm not mistaken, in the Ergo ecosystem, and Splash is that equivalent within the Cardano network. Some of their launch partners include the Ergo ecosystem, or I believe it might be the Ergo or the Rosen Bridge, We've got the Sneck team, Dex Hunter, Iagon, Butane, Optum Finance, and then I'm not sure what that very last logo is. Now, in terms of getting access to the platform, you can head over to this link, which is pre-splash-app.spectrum.fi. And from here, you can see all of the available trading pairs. You can see all the available liquidity pools. And then you can also view any of the orders that you may have already completed if you have a wallet connected. So I did want to quickly highlight that there. There is also a brief piece here surrounding their progress and roadmap for the months ahead, where they have their partner liquidity onboarding. I just highlighted their partners there a second ago. We have SneckX launching, a new interface being released, as well as stable pools and their OADA launch. Last but not least, I want to quickly highlight the SundaeSwap protocol, which has officially released SundaeSwap v3. So it's available at app.sundaeswap.fi. You may need to refresh your browser if you're still seeing outdated information or if you're being redirected to an older version of the platform there. Now, I have gotten a chance to check it out. It's pretty smooth, pretty quick. And keep in mind that not all of the liquidity pools are taking advantage of V3, but the team does a really, really good job of identifying what is V3 capable and what isn't V3 capable. I did sit down with Pi Laningham, their founder, about a month or two back to break down all of the details about V3. One of the biggest here is the fact that their batcher sizes are basically 10x now. So they can handle more transactions or more swaps per batch, making them a lot more efficient and able to handle or provide higher throughput. Now, in addition, they've got new order types which are now available, which include the swap order type, the deposit, withdrawal, donate, oracle, and strategy. Again, for the sake of time, I'm not going to break all those down here, but please check out my prior video. There's actually 2 interviews sitting down with Pi Laningham where he talks about all the features. We dive deep into the details about exactly what you can expect with V3 of the protocol. That will bring me to the end here for today's Cardano Scoop update. Again, talking about consensus. If you are going to be there, let me know down below, as well as the weekly Cardano development report touching on governance with the DREP Pioneer program, as well as the Constitutional Committee workshops taking place very soon. We've also highlighted the Sky Protocol, Delta DeFi, Splash, and SundaeSwap. That will do it here for today's video. Again, I truly do appreciate you. If you made it this far, I would really appreciate if you could smash that thumbs up. It really does make a difference here in helping to spread the content and giving it more reach within and outside the Cardano ecosystem. In addition, if you want more content like this, breaking down everything going on in Cardano, consider subscribing to Dapp Central. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, then leave them down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.